to my channel. So today I'm talking about episode 10 and episode 11 of Love is Blind, streaming on Netflix, season 6. And did you guys think that these two episodes were the most boring yet of the season? I thought it was so boring that I actually got up and started doing stuff. I usually don't. I usually just focus on the TV, but I got up, I was washing the dishes, especially on the little dates that they had before the wedding. AD and Clay, they're painting shoes. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so boring. Sculpting the ice, Chelsea and Jimmy. I think it's because there's been so much drama outside of the show on social media that's been unfolding. The things that are happening outside of the show are more entertaining than the show itself. We all know by now that people go on Love is Blind to have their 15 minutes of fame, to have some clout, to become influencers. But I think on season 1, the percentage of people that went on the show for the wrong reasons was maybe what, 5%, 10%, and then season 2, I'll say maybe 20%, and then season 3, there's more and more people that wanted on the show just to have, you know, that little bit of fame. I would say season 6, a good 90% of the cast members went there with no intention of getting married. And I blame, not that I blame them personally, but I blame their situation of past cast members that became so successful with their social media influence. Think about Natalie and Dipti. They have a really successful podcast, Out of the Pods. They also have lots of sponsorships and, you know, partnerships on their IGs. And they gave an interview, I think it was with Forbes. In 1 year, they made $1 million each from the podcast and their partnerships with brands and stuff. So when you look at someone like Natalie and Dipti, and I'm so happy for them, like well deserved. I think both quit their normal jobs and just became influencers. And they didn't even find a husband on the show. Oh man, they went on the show, didn't even find love, and became millionaires. I can do that too. I'm gonna sign up for the show. Or I can just ride the wave and have more airtime. I can just pretend that I'm into someone. I'll say yes to a proposal. I'll even walk down the aisle and say no. And that's what a lot of people that apply on the show, they go with this mentality of being famous because they see successful cases. One example in the season, now that we found out, was Trevor. Trevor just wanted to become a fitness influencer. We'll talk about the whole drama that's been unfolding on social media in a little bit. But let's start with Amy and Johnny. Last week, we had the whole birth control conversation. The one thing that I would love to ask Amy is, what did you do with past partners? Because I don't think she's a virgin. What is she, like 25, 27? Apparently she has an autoimmune disease that she can't take the hormones or something. How did you do in the past? And with Johnny, he addressed the vasectomy thing. And it's so interesting to me to realize how sex education here in America sucks. Because the guy, Johnny, didn't even know how a vasectomy works. He even said, he's like, I looked it up and I thought they just like, oh, tie it a bow, you know, on my private part and that's it, and I'll go on with my life. And he's like, no, he's trying to describe how a vasectomy works. Jeremy and Laura. So Jeremy post Laura and order type of ordeal that happened in the last episode. Jeremy goes to the doggy park with his mom and he's telling the whole story about coming home at almost 6 a.m. and his mom was giving him some looks of, boy, I taught you better than this. And she even said, you're lucky you didn't do this to me because I would have beat your ass. And I was like, yeah, mom, you go. The way Jeremy still keeps making excuses for what he did and that nothing justifies the way Laura spoke to him baffles me. She said at the late party, your narcissism is nauseating, and I agree with her. So they're at the lake party and Laura's talking to the girls, and one of the girls asked what she did with the engagement ring, if she still has it, and she's like, yeah, I still have it. If Jeremy comes to me and asks for that ring back, I would tell him to go kick some rocks barefoot. And that reminded me of Jacquelina and Marshall. Remember Jackie and Marshall? We all judge her because she didn't return the ring back to Marshall. Like the whole thing was so funny because Marshall was like, yeah, I gave you the ring, but we're not engaged anymore. You have to return it to me. And she's like, no, you gave me the ring. I keep the ring. And I was just like, guys, no one gave the ring to no one. Netflix bought that ring. Netflix is the one that should snatch back from Jackie and reuse it for a future season. Are we now judging Laura for keeping her ring? Let me know in the comments down below, because I don't want to sound hypocritical. Is that a word? Hypocritical? There you go. It came out. I will keep the ring if I was Laura. I mean, her ex-fiance stay out with some other chick until 5 a.m. Yeah, she deserves the ring. And then Laura and Jeremy have the talk after not talking for, I think, like 3 or 4 days. The thing that pissed me off the most about that conversation, it was when she said, I'll come over tomorrow and get all my stuff. And he said, it's all packed up and ready to go. I packed it up for you. If I was Laura, I would take that ugly ass cap he was wearing and shove it up his ass. You packed up my stuff. You touched my stuff. Still at the lake party, Sarah Ann shows up. If I was Laura, I'll be like, enough is enough. This is me as Laura. Okay, I came to this party. I wanted to have my free drinks, eat my free food, all on Netflix budget, hang out with my girls, have my little powwows. Jeremy shows up. Fine. I knew he was going to be here. I don't have to deal with him. When Sarah Ann shows up, if I was Laura, I'll be like, where's my Uber? I'm done. I already had a few drinks. I talked to my girls. I want to go home, put my PJs on, and watch some TV. For my own mental health and for my own self-love, I don't need to watch this two doofos go right off into the sunset on jet skis. I don't. Now, Jeremy, you all know that I liked him from the start. I thought he was, a chill guy, but now, after everything that surfaced, first, I do not believe that him and Sarah Ann didn't do anything that night after Lost and Found. That all they did was talk for 3.5 hours. I don't believe. And even though she says that, she swears on her mother that she didn't do anything, I don't believe her either. I think they have a little pack. They're like, let's zip it. Let's not tell anyone what happened. And he also told his mom that we didn't do anything inappropriate. Jeremy, what is your definition of inappropriate? Because I don't know, you might think that a blowjob, it's not inappropriate. The whole drama that happened within Jeremy's life outside of the show is that his ex-fiance, her mom posted something on Facebook, and that's such a mom thing to do, right? On Facebook, posted a picture of Jeremy, her daughter, and her grandson, this little boy named Kingston, and saying that, oh, look who applied for a reality TV show while still engaged. Oh, and then people went off that he had to post a video, and still up there, if you want to go to his IG, of him saying that he had broken up the engagement before applying for the show, and the house that they had together was sold like a week before he got cast. He cleared his name, and I believe him, but why go on a reality TV show to find a wife? To find a wife when you were just engaged, which he didn't even apply. So I'm glad that Jeremy came out with the screenshots, and I'm gonna put it up right now, that Netflix, the casting producer, reached out to him, sent him a DM saying that, hey, we think you're a great fit for the show, blah, blah, blah. We're currently casting for the show Love is Blind on Netflix in the Charlotte area. This is super random, but my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm the casting producer. When Netflix just scouts people on Instagram, it's such a turnoff for me, because people at home that have the good intentions of going on Love is Blind and finding a wife or a husband, they're not gonna apply anymore. They're gonna be like, why am I applying for this show, filling out that whole application? Apparently it's long. If Netflix is just gonna find hot people on Instagram. Because of all the hate and backlash he's been receiving, Jeremy posted something. I'll pull it up right now because it's still there. The amount of hate myself and other castmates have received, it's over the top. We all had the courage to put ourselves in the public eye to watch an experiment unfold. For you, it's entertainment. For us, it was a part of life at an accelerated pace. While everyone is entitled to their opinions, it's fucking wild to make assumptions about everyone without, one, knowing us, two, being involved in any way, three, not being a part of the other thousands of hours of footage that's captured. I am so sick of these people that sign up voluntarily for these reality TV shows, and when us, content creators, people with opinions, people on Instagram, in the comment section, when we make any comments, they're like, oh, you guys are so mean. You're making assumptions. You don't know us. You only see part of us, and there's a lot of editing. Do you think we're dumbasses? We only comment on the stuff that Netflix shows to us. For the way you portrayed on TV, blame Netflix, not us. You guys want all this fame, but who's giving that to you? We are the viewers, the people that do videos like this, that the algorithm loves it, and your name is on the headline in the news. If we stop talking about you and your show, then Netflix wouldn't have any ratings and they would cancel Love is Blind. So I'm so tired of people signing up for the show and expecting like roses and petals. And they always say, oh, it took a lot of courage to sign up for the show, to put my life out there for the public to see. You made your life public. We have all the right to make our comments on it. Of course, like, we don't want to say hateful things about someone, and there are a lot of mean comments out there. I really like how Chelsea handled the whole Megan Fox thing. She did a little interview, I think it was with Entertainment Tonight, but she's like, I am being dragged through the trenches. She laughs about it, and she even did a reel on her. I don't follow her, but it popped up on my feed saying that, hey, all of you that were on my flights that said that I look like Megan Fox and Adele and Carrie Underwood, this is the time to come forward. Please, I am begging you. And I thought that was so funny. Let's move on to Clay and AD. Clay meets AD's mom, and he says that his parents were married for 24 years, but ended up getting a divorce. And then the mom said, well, but they were 24 years of a successful marriage. It was 24 years of joy and happiness. And I was like, Clay, are you gonna tell her about all the cheating your dad did on those 24 years? But later on, when it's just him and AD, they're talking in the kitchen, and he still brings it up, the fact that he doesn't know he can make a good husband. And at one point, I'm just like, Clay is just begging AD not to marry him. And then he says that there is a chance that he might say no at the altar, but he still wants to keep dating her. And she's like, no, I don't roll like that. I'm no long-term fiance. If you say no at the altar, I'm not going to continue to see you. Clay also says that he's been watching past Love is Blind seasons. He told AD that he's not as mature as some of the guys that he sees on TV. He doesn't think that he is husband material. And I was like, what are you doing? Clay, is this like reverse psychology? Like, you saying all those things to make her break up with you? But AD is still there, you know, hanging right next to Clay. What's that saying? It's so cheesy because everyone uses now, but women, we are not rehab for broken men. Okay, AD? I'm talking to you. Chelsea and Jimmy. Another day, another fight. Isn't ironic that their last date before the wedding, they went to a roller coaster park? Because that's their relationship in a nutshell. It is up and down. They go from like being really happy to like having a really bad fight. This last fight, it was a drunk fight, because she even said the next day that she had too many dirty martinis. You could tell by the senseless questions that she was throwing at Jimmy that she was buzzed up. We find out that Jimmy did sleep with one of his best girlfriends. Remember, there's two. I knew it because when they meet up with Chelsea for the first time at the bar, and she asked him, how long have you known them? And I thought he was going to say 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, like they've known each other since kindergarten or high school. I thought they knew each other for a long time. I don't mind men having girlfriends if it's like, once again, if they know each other for years. When Chelsea asked, how long have you known them? He said, 2, 3 years. I was like, this smells fishy. This smells really fishy. And boom, I was right. He did sleep with one of them. He says it was only one time, happened a long time ago. But of course, Chelsea already having that insecurity in her bones, she's even more insecure now about him hanging out with those two girlfriends. The one thing I did not like is that Jimmy asked her, because they talked about this off camera, and he said, we talked about this off camera. I asked you, I did not want to talk about this on camera. And I think it was out of respect for his friend, because there's a YouTuber that I used to follow, and she always said this, that I chose to put my life out there. I chose this life to be a YouTuber. My friends and family, they did not sign up for this. They did not choose this. So the fact that Jimmy wants to keep his friend's privacy, I love that. The fight was about, I'm trying to make this video not too long, that Jimmy went out to his friends, one of his fraternity buddies' birthday. And he said he went there, had one drink, and came back home. He wasn't even like pulling a Jeremy. He said the total time I was away from home, including driving, was an hour and a half. Insecure Chelsea, it's throwing everything on him, saying, you were there with Jess, I know. And he's like, I was not there with Jess. I haven't even met Jess. And she's like, well, you told me you don't like to go out on the pods. You said you don't even go out. He's like, I never said that. I said I enjoy a wine bar in a brewery on a Saturday. The straw that broke the camel's back was when Jimmy, he said, do you believe that I love you? Do you think I love you? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, that's it then. I can't do this anymore. What the F am I doing here if you don't think I love you? At this point, I think Jimmy has Stockholm syndrome, because he keeps coming back. He's giving that interview almost like he's being held hostage, saying, oh, she's so easy to forgive. And I was like, why? Just because she said you look good on those pants? And Chelsea's trying to defend herself, saying, yes, I said some things I didn't mean. My delivery was not good. Your delivery, it's never good. But you can't throw in the towel. And I was like, Jimmy, you can and you should. That towel should be in the washer right now, ready for the dryer and to be folded and put it away. Speaking of Stockholm syndrome, I found this meme on Instagram about Jimmy. Jimmy talking about his relationship with Chelsea. Oh, and at the lake party, Jimmy and Jess, they finally sit together and they have a talk. And he also told her that to this day, you're still my number one. What does that mean? Let me know in the comments down below. What did he mean by that? It's funny that Laura called Jeremy a con artist. Trevor is the con artist. So he's having a talk with Chelsea. It's impossible to see him like I saw him at the beginning of the season because of everything that we know on social media. All the spoilers now, all the stuff that comes out on social media kind of ruins the watching experience, because we already know what you did. If I didn't know what happened with his ex-girlfriend, I would still look at him like, oh, you're such a nice guy. You were like my favorite guy of the season. But no, the whole drama is that this whole time he had a girlfriend, Natalia, this Russian heavy lifter, and she has a whole Q&A thing, and she explains the whole story, that he told her that he applied for the show. He even told her he wanted to marry her. He was going to marry her. And I feel so stupid because in the pods, he was saying all the things we want to hear. His favorite movies, The Notebook, our date will be at a soup kitchen or an animal shelter. And I was like, oh, Trevor, my heart. What a liar. What a liar. And things with Natalia get even worse because after they broke up, he told her if she leaked anything, any of their conversations, he's going to leak private videos and photos of her. Trevor! Netflix needs to hire better casting directors, period. I know they do the whole background check, mental evaluation, but why don't you ask personal questions about past relationships? Easy peasy. When was your last relationship? How long did it last? Were you ever engaged? When was the engagement? Were you ever married? Oh, how long did that last? And that's the thing that makes me so upset, that it seems like Netflix, it's not even taking the show, the meaning of the show, like it was on season 1, seriously. Because you're not even going through people's applications now. You're just scouting hot people on Instagram. I would pay good money to have a live reunion for this season. Just because everything that has been unfolding, I would kill for a live reunion. But I don't think Nick and Vanessa Lachey can handle. There's no way. What did you think of these 2 episodes? Do you think people are signing up for the show for the right reasons? Sound off below. If you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe. If you can, hit the thanks button. And yes, I'll see you next time.